This is Quick Draw with Kayden for Buckaroo Talks. Parker, are you ready?
Hit me.
All right, first question, felt or straw?
Straw year round, or felt year round.
All right.
Yeah. Get that straw out of there. Felt year round.
I should take my hat off right now.
No. I just prefer it.
Most essential tool in the workshop?
Hands.
That makes sense because without those, probably
Yeah.
can't do much.
Yeah, and you can make do with hands a lot of the time.
Favorite music artist?
That's a hard one. I probably got a handful of them depending on the category, but maybe overall, Hank Williams, Sr.
All right.
Absolutely.
Favorite Western?
Lonesome Dove. That was my introduction to the Western world on the bigger part when I was a teenager. So Lonesome Dove.
What were you, 15, 16?
Yeah, probably about then, probably about 16. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Augustus McCrae, the most stand-up citizen ever to live.
Of course. Dude.
Yeah, harsh, soft, loving, funny, all the above.
A real man.
Yeah.
One hat style that everyone should know. Own.
Any hat made by Bowman.
Touche. There's the plug. Famous person in history that you would love to fit a hat for?
It's kind of an odd one and not a cowboy, but a fella named Dick Brennecke. Yeah, it was kind of my introduction to wanting to live off the land when I was a teenager, and he built a cabin in Alaska and spent the rest of his life there, and he filmed it. This was a long time ago, but look up the footage. Dick Brennecke, he was the man.
Really?
Yeah, that's the ultimate test for a hat, if it can survive Dick Brennecke's head.
In Alaska, too.
Yeah, back in the 60s.
All right. Banjo or guitar? It's a hard one for you.
Depends on the setting.
Oh, I don't know if you can do that.
Yeah, it depends on the setting. Preferably both. In a setting like this, maybe one of each. Yeah.
Best place you've ever played?
I'm grateful I've got to play a lot of incredible places, but I think memory-wise, looking back, it would be this little brewery I used to play every Friday night back in Arizona called Granite Mountain Brewery. It's a little shotgun venue, and people would turn out and be shoulder to shoulder packed every Friday night and dancing, and I swear we left that floor 2 inches lower than it was
awesome.
Before we started. Yeah, it was a great time.
Best record you own?
Best record I own? I don't know. I have a lot of obscure one-off 78s from back in the day, like home recording stuff and old blues musicians, but overall I'd say it's not one record, but maybe collection-wise, I have every Hank Williams 78 ever recorded.
All right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I like it.
Adds up. All right. Music artists you'd want to collab with?
And this is someone, I've become friendly with in the last year, Marty Stewart. I would love to collaborate with him. He's spent his life preserving traditions and country music and played it his whole life with all of the greats. And I feel like we could do something real neat together.
All right, favorite road trip memory?
Back in my traveling days, in my busking days, I was in Memphis on Beale Street, and I was set up on the drag there, busking, just playing music. And at the end of the street, there was a basketball stadium, if you call it that, and there was a playoff game going on. And I knew that if Memphis won, it was going to be a good one for your boy here. I was maybe going to get some good tips, and sure enough, they won. And I was sitting there playing, and there was these guys called the Beale Street Flippers. It was just this family that would do flips all up and down the street. And they saw me, and I saw them, and they came down, and we kind of collaborated, and they were doing all these flips, all of them up and down the street while I was playing, and it was a good night. It was
That's
fun.
rad. That's
fun.
rad. All right. Best advice for your younger self?
Spent a lot of my younger years looking for some advice. I'd say just stay true, keep on going. You got it. Have faith.
Yeah.
Just bet on yourself and do it. You're only here once.
Yeah. If your life was a song, what would the title be?
I'd like to think about that and come up with some clever answer, but we got a song we're recording right now called The Mule. I'm a bit of a mule myself.
I can
Partly
feel for
an
that.
ass, but I got the heart of a horse. You know what I mean? So I'll go for that.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Best place you went horseback riding?
Honestly, probably Catalina. We talked about it earlier, but it's beautiful. Maybe V6. Probably Catalina.
That's a wrap on Quick Draw. See you on the next one. Sound effects.